Today on Light the Wick, a Youngstown landmark spreads the message of peace. The Butler plays host to a world premiere music performance. We go behind the scenes of a play production and feature more Youngstown community theater. Welcome to Light the Wick. I'm Tyler Williams. Opening this weekend at the Oakland Center for the Arts is Kimberly Akimbo by David Lindsay Abraire. The play has a fantastic ensemble cast, including Youngstown stage regular John Cox.
I've had the pleasure of doing a lot of different kinds of roles, and this role of Buddy Lavaco is very special because it lets you dive into the mindset of a guy who just doesn't know what to do with his life. He has all these ideas, and down deep he's a good guy. He's just a normal, hard-working, blue-collar guy, but he has no ambition really. And it's just that plodding through life that he needs to get through, and he finds how to live. So it is a family, a dysfunctional family that functions well together and has all their little quirks and idiosyncrasies, but actually kind of mesh together, and it's how they live together and deal with loss throughout the play with a lot of humor that's involved.
The show opens this weekend at the Oakland and runs until November 19th. The Youngstown Historical Society is giving a facelift to the Arms Museum. The Arms Museum sits on Wick Avenue and provides a look into Youngstown's past. Light the Wick's Ches Allison got the scoop on the renovations being done to the museum.
All right. The Arms Family Museum here is going through a little bit of a front facelift. We had Studio Arts and Glass, a firm from Canton, Ohio, come in and remove the windows on the front of the museum. They took them back to their studio and did some repairs to the wood, and they also fixed the leading and the glazing on the windows, and then they brought them back, and we got all new tempered glass coverings for the windows on the outside. That'll allow for the visitor in the museum to be able to see out onto Wick Avenue, which was previously a cloudy panel that were on the windows. It was a plastic covering that was there before. So it's a great view to be able to see out, and you'll also be able to see the architectural details of the windows on the outside, which were also covered over with that plastic coverings. So it helps, with the preservation of the windows, and it's also going to help to preserve the artifacts inside the museum because it's a low-E glass that will block the ultraviolet rays. We're also getting a brand new sign in the front of the museum. It will be compatible with the architecture of the house, with a stone base and a copper top, and it will look really nice with the Arms Museum on the sign, and it'll really complement the museum building itself.
Over the years, the need for global peace has been expressed in a number of ways. We're all familiar with the two-fingered peace sign, or the yin and yang symbol, but one marker of peace stands out in particular on Wick Avenue. It reminds us of how we can improve our world. Near First Presbyterian Church on Wick Avenue stands a simple wooden pole inscribed in English, Hebrew, Spanish, and Arabic, each displaying the same important message: may peace prevail on earth.
The peace pole was begun many years ago following the Second World War when a Japanese man who had endured the bombings in Hiroshima and Nagasaki had an idea of putting up a peace pole that would spell out the need for peace in the world. And
out of the four languages, both Hebrew and Arabic seem to carry a sense of hope for two nations who are still at odds against each other.
There's a genuine concern about peace in the Middle East, knowing that we have in the Youngstown area both a strong Jewish community and increasingly a Muslim community. We felt as if those prayers in those languages would be significant sort of in a global sense. So Spanish was kind of specifically for a concern for our own country, but the other two languages were concerns for global peace between Israel and Palestinians. We have a small way to bear witness in the community to our concern and to raise the concern of other people to pray for peace in the world.
So with just one simple poll, an important message is given that we all need global peace. Reporting for Light the Wick, I'm Tyler Williams. Have you ever wondered what goes on behind the scenes on the production of a play? Light the Wick's Corbin Baker investigated that in the theater department at YSU.
When most of us think of a successful play, we think of talented actors, bright lights, and scenery. But what truly is the backbone behind any successful show is the scene shop and those who work in it.
I became a theater major because I like to paint and I like to build. I don't really want to act, but like this is my place. I love it here. I'm a sophomore. I'm working in the scene shop because I have play production and we have to do 40 hours of shop work or just being involved, and this is how I chose to be involved.
A long history. I was actually an undergraduate here, came back and taught for a couple years, went away, and then was called back officially. I'm the production manager for the theater department, which is a fancy title that means I have to kind of wrangle all of these students that you've been filming and watching running around here. My job is to make sure that students are hopefully getting an education, as well as learning how to build and paint scenery, do the things that we need to do to mount a production.
Check out the scene shop's work come to life during all university theater productions. For Light the Wick, I'm Corbin Baker.
YSU and the Youngstown Business Incubator have teamed up to display student artwork downtown. The gallery is called Systems. One of the artists, Katie Gould, created a piece that has a personal story behind it. Ryan Alacio caught up with Katie to get her story.
This is 81 small portraits, and it's all taken from a 1944 yearbook. I have like this obsession with high school graduates, like and the mentality behind that, because they're basically just kids and they're about to go into the world, and they're not really sure of what they're getting into yet. I myself dropped out of high school and then to work, and then I went back. So I never was in a yearbook or a part of a graduating class. So this to me was like kind of getting to know personally, like a whole graduating class almost. And I chose to use ballpoint pen for the drawings, and I wanted it to be more easily accessible to the viewer, so that way people look at it and they could say, "Oh, I could do that," you know. Because it's a utensil that everyone uses to use. It's not like oil paint or anything where you're like, oh my gosh, I can't imagine how they could do that. So I wanted to do something approachable.
Oh, that's very nice. All right, well, thank you very much for your time, and everybody should come on down, check out what the YSU students, the art majors, are doing.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun stuff.
All right, back to you guys.
Don't miss Katie and the rest of the arts at the Systems Gallery downtown. You have until November 11th. The Youngstown State University Percussion Collective premiered their newest musical piece, Forms of Things Unknown, on Wednesday, November 2nd at the Butler North Annex. The music was written by David Morgan, an associate professor of jazz studies at YSU. The Percussion Collective has exciting plans for the future of this musical piece. Alexa Hall has the story.
The Youngstown State University Percussion Collective has been hard at work in Bliss Hall preparing for their world premiere of a musical piece written by Dave Morgan.
This is called Forms of Things Unknown, and the piece is all about the world of rhythm and percussion, and especially what percussion means in different societies around the world, where percussion music is more than just music, it's like magic to societies in Africa and Brazil.
And many different instruments are used to bring this musical piece together.
Over 200 percussion instruments that we use all together. Traditional percussion instruments like marimbas and vibraphones, and all kinds of handheld drums from all around the world.
The Youngstown State Collective has plans to do more than just perform this piece.
After we premiere this piece, we intend to record it in January and produce a full-length album with that. And then we are also, the percussion ensemble, the Youngstown Percussion Collective, is going to the Ohio Music Education Association State Convention in February to perform several movements of this piece.
So be sure to check out the full-length album of Forms of Things Unknown in January. Reporting for Light the Wick, I'm Alexa Hall.
Thank you for joining us for another episode of Light the Wick. I'm sure you have interesting stories to tell us, and we'd love to hear from you. We're going to be back on November 18th to feature more stories about the Youngstown art scene. Here are your Light the Wick sparks. See you next time.